Imagine you're packing your bags for a highly anticipated trip to Rome.
Oh, it sounds amazing.
Right. Your flight leaves tomorrow. But suddenly, your phone buzzes.
Okay.
It is a WhatsApp message from your hotel. And it greets you by name, it confirms your exact travel dates, and it even cites your internal booking reference number.
That is very specific.
Yeah, exactly. And the message politely explains that, well, the local city tax requires a quick re-verification of the credit card on file, providing a link to complete the process before your arrival.
Which seems completely normal.
It seems entirely accurate, completely professional, and honestly, utterly terrifying. Because that message didn't come from the hotel. It came from a hacker.
Welcome to Tech Talks with Kinsoft.
Glad to be here.
Our mission on this show is straightforward. We take a massive stack of sources, articles, technical research, endless notes, and we extract the most important nuggets of knowledge specifically curated for you.
Right, we synthesize the complexities so you can absorb the insights without the information overload. And today, we are exploring the massive April 2026 data breach involving the global travel giant, Booking.com.
A huge story.
Yeah, massive. Our insights today are pulled directly from recent reporting by TechCrunch and HelpNet Security. And to set up the stakes here, I want you to think of this like handing your house keys to a trusted valet at a very fancy, highly secure establishment.
I like this analogy.
Thanks. But later, you find out someone made a copy of your key, not at the main office with all the security cameras and guards, but at the parking garage down the street where they actually park the cars.
Yeah, that valet analogy perfectly visualizes the architecture of the vulnerability we are looking at today. It is a story about the periphery, not the center.
But I want to challenge the initial reaction people might have to this news. I mean, we hear about data breaches constantly, right?
Right, every week.
Exactly. Our emails are out there, our passwords have been involved in a dozen leaks. So why should you, the listener, actually care about this specific one?
Well, the fatigue is entirely understandable. However, this incident demands your attention because it isn't about stolen data in the traditional binary sense.
Okay, what do you mean?
This is really a masterclass in how modern cybercriminals weaponize your trust by stealing the context of your life.
Weaponizing trust. Okay, let's unpack this. According to the reporting, around April 13th, 2026, Booking.com began notifying its customers of suspicious activity.
That's right.
And the notifications were pretty specific about the exposed data. It was names, email addresses, physical addresses, phone numbers, and booking details.
Sender stuff, mostly.
Yeah, but there is one line that really caught my eye. It said the hackers had access to, quote, anything that you may have shared with the accommodation.
And that open-ended field is the absolute goldmine for an attacker. It holds all the nuances of your travel.
Yet at the same time, TechCrunch reported that Booking.com explicitly stated to The Guardian that financial information was not accessed.
Which sounds like good news.
Right. So if the hackers didn't get credit card numbers, is this really a catastrophic event?
Well, that assumption that only financial data matters is exactly the misconception cybercriminals are banking on today.
Wait, really?
Yeah. In the modern digital economy, context is arguably more valuable than currency.
How so?
Think about it. Financial theft is an immediate smash and grab. Someone steals your card number, they buy a bunch of electronics online, your bank's algorithms flag the anomaly, your card gets canceled, and you usually get refunded.
Right. It is a headache, but it gets fixed.
Exactly. The transaction is binary and resolved quickly because, well, fraud mechanisms are built to handle it.
Right. The banks fully expect that to happen. But you are saying contextual data theft is a different beast entirely.
Far different. Stealing your travel itinerary, knowing exactly when you are arriving, who you are traveling with, and any special requests you made to the front desk.
Like asking for a crib or a late check-in.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That allows for long-term psychological manipulation. They possess the ingredients to craft a scenario where you willingly hand over your financial information yourself.
Oh, wow.
It shifts the attack from a technical breach of a computer system to a psychological breach of the human mind.
Wow. That frames that line, anything you may have shared with the accommodation, in a much darker light.
It really does.
They aren't trying to break into the vault. They are trying to convince you to open the vault for them.
Precisely.
But if Booking.com is this massive tech giant with a robust security budget, how did hackers actually get this incredibly specific data? I mean, they didn't break down Booking.com's main server doors, did they?
They didn't even try.
Really?
Yeah. The notifications that went out to customers specifically stated that hackers accessed, quote, certain booking information associated with your reservation,
Okay.
and that phrasing implies a localized point of access.
Ah, the parking garage down the street.
Exactly that. The vulnerability lies in the supply chain.
Okay, break that down for me.
To understand how this happens, we have to look at how these distributed networks function. Security researchers point out that hackers compromise the individual hotel partner accounts, not the central platform. And a major mechanism for this, which is attributed to a threat group tracked as Storm 1865, is a highly sophisticated phishing technique known as ClickFix.
Okay, walk me through ClickFix. How does that actually bypass a hotel's security?
Well, picture a front desk manager at an independent hotel. They receive an urgent email, seemingly from Booking.com, or perhaps even a guest, regarding an issue with a reservation.
Seems routine enough.
Right. So they click a link to view the details. Suddenly, a very legitimate-looking pop-up appears on their screen saying their web browser is out of date.
Oh, no.
Or maybe that they need an extension to view the document,
Yeah.
and it prompts them to click a button to fix the issue, hence ClickFix.
And clicking that button installs the malware.
Exactly. It drops an info stealer or remote access Trojan directly onto the hotel's computer.
Wow.
And this isn't necessarily a highly sophisticated nation-state cyber weapon destroying the network.
What is it then?
In many cases, it functions similarly to consumer-grade stalkerware,
Yeah.
like Peak Tattletale, which researchers noted in earlier related incidents.
Sure.
It basically just silently monitors the machine.
Wait, let me make sure I'm visualizing this correctly. It's not someone breaking into a digital filing cabinet to steal a massive database file, right?
Right.
It's more like a hacker installing a tiny invisible camera right over the front desk clerk's shoulder.
That is a brilliant way to describe it. Yeah. While the legitimate hotel employee is logged into their secure Booking.com administration portal, the malware is secretly snapping screenshots.
Or scraping the session data.
Exactly. It bypasses two-factor authentication completely because the authorized human user has already done the authenticating.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this is the textbook definition of third-party risk.
It really is.
In cybersecurity, a system is truly only as secure as its weakest link.
Always.
I mean, a global platform like Booking.com has had billions of customers over the years. They can build a billion-dollar state-of-the-art fortress with biometric scanners and laser grids, but they still have to leave the back window wide open because the gardener needs to get in to water the ferns.
That's the perfect way to put it. The platform only functions if the independent hotel partners can actually see who is arriving and what room they booked.
Right.
Booking.com has to share that data with thousands of independent businesses, ranging from massive luxury chains to a two-bedroom bed and breakfast in some rural village.
And it can't control their security.
No, they cannot completely control the cybersecurity hygiene of that bed and breakfast. They can't stop a tired front desk clerk from falling for a ClickFix pop-up.
It is staggering when you think about the attack surface. It isn't just the main corporate servers, it is every single endpoint in a global partner network.
Exactly.
So now that we understand the mechanics, how the hackers use ClickFix to look over the shoulder of the hotel staff and what they take, which is this rich contextual data, we need to look at the execution.
Right, the actual scam.
Yeah. How are criminals using this non-financial data right now?
Well, this is where the long con pays off.
Yeah.
According to the reporting, shortly after the data was accessed, customers started receiving highly convincing phishing messages via WhatsApp and SMS text messages.
Here's where it gets really interesting because this taps directly into our cognitive biases.
Absolutely.
If you get a text from a random number saying, hey, your account is locked, click here, your brain instantly flags it as spam.
Yeah, you just delete it.
Right. It
Yeah.
lacks context, so it lacks credibility. But these scammers are using the stolen data to bypass your internal spam filter.
They really are. They are sending messages that reference your real name, your actual hotel, the precise dates of your stay, and even your internal booking reference numbers.
Which is terrifying.
I want to highlight a quote from Kevin Knight. He's the CEO of Talion in the HelpNet security article. He noted, quote, "Stealing financial information isn't the only way attackers can monetize on a breach. Victims are still at risk of phishing, and these communications could be highly tailored given the attackers know about the previous holiday bookings."
So we go back to that scenario of packing for Rome. You get that WhatsApp message about the local city tax requiring a card re-verification.
Right.
You are in a mild state of panic about losing your room, and every single detail in that message proves to you that they are legitimate.
Yep.
You are highly likely to click that link.
Oh, absolutely. This tactic is known as spear phishing at scale.
Okay, what does that mean exactly?
Well, traditional phishing casts a wide net with a generic message, hoping someone, somewhere, happens to bank with the institution they are spoofing.
Right.
Spear phishing, on the other hand, is highly targeted at one individual, usually requiring hours of research by the attacker to gather enough context.
But because these hackers scraped the administration portals, they didn't have to do the research, they automated it.
Exactly. They generated thousands of highly customized, personalized attacks in an instant.
Wow.
They hijacked the established trust between you and the accommodation. You trust the hotel, therefore you trust the message.
And the moment you click that link and type in your credit cards to re-verify, that is when the financial theft finally occurs.
Yes. They use the context to acquire the currency.
It is a phenomenal, albeit malicious, piece of social engineering.
It is.
Given the scale of these personalized attacks, who is actually claiming responsibility? And more importantly, how on earth do you protect yourself when the scams are factually accurate?
Well, on the attribution front, things are somewhat layered.
Okay.
The Dubai-based cybersecurity firm Hackmanac noted that a group called Vect claimed responsibility for the breach on the dark web.
Vect.
Yeah. However, that claim remains entirely unconfirmed. It is quite common for threat actors to claim high-profile breaches just to boost their notoriety, regardless of their actual involvement.
But the underlying mechanism, the click-fix phishing targeting the hotels, that is strongly associated with the group tracked as Storm 1865.
That is correct. Researchers have tracked Storm 1865 utilizing these specific tactics against the hospitality sector.
And what about the response from Booking.com?
Well, Booking.com spokesperson Courtney Camp stated to TechCrunch that they noticed the suspicious activity and took action. Crucially, they updated the PIN numbers for the affected reservations to contain the issue.
I have to challenge the effectiveness of that response, though.
Sure enough.
Is updating a PIN on the back end really enough? I mean, if the hackers already scraped my phone number, my email, and know exactly where I'm going on vacation next week, changing a PIN on a portal doesn't put that genie back in the bottle.
What's fascinating here is the duality of incident response. From an infrastructure perspective, changing those pins absolutely contains the active threat.
How?
It kicks the hackers out of the portal, stopping future back-end access. It basically locks that back window the gardener uses.
But from the consumer's perspective, the damage is already done.
Yes, unfortunately. The exposure window has closed, but the exploitation window, the period where those stolen details can be used to trick you, is wide open.
Right.
The updated PIN does absolutely nothing to stop the WhatsApp message from arriving on your phone tomorrow.
So how does a traveler spot these scams? If all the details in the message are 100% accurate, how do we defend ourselves?
It requires a fundamental shift in how we handle digital communications.
Okay.
You have to establish a hard, non-negotiable rule. Never trust an inbound digital message asking for payment, re-verification, or sensitive personal details.
Just a blanket rule.
Yes. It does not matter if the message contains your exact booking reference, the names of your children, or your flight number.
Because we now know definitively that bad actors possess that context.
Exactly. The protocol must always be to verify out of band.
Out of band verification, meaning you have to verify the request outside of the channel the message came through.
Spot on. If you receive a text, do not reply to the text. Do not click the link in the text.
Right.
Open up the official app on your phone or type the direct website address into your browser and check your reservation status there.
Or take the analog route and just call the hotel directly.
Yes, but even then, there is a catch.
Oh.
Do not call the phone number provided in that suspicious text message.
Ah, of course.
The attackers will gladly set up a fake call center to answer the phone and assure you the tax needs to be paid.
They really think of everything.
They do. You have to look up the hotel's public phone number independently on a search engine. Dial it yourself and ask the front desk directly.
Just say, hi, I just received a message about a card hold. Is there actually an issue with my reservation?
Exactly. And the front desk will almost certainly tell you to ignore the message.
You have to manually break the chain of trust that the attacker is trying to hijack.
You do.
So what does this all mean? If we step back and look at the broader implications of the April 2026 Booking.com incident, I think the biggest takeaway is recognizing the true value of our digital footprints.
I agree completely.
The real currency in cybersecurity today isn't a credit card number. It is the context of your life. It is your schedule, your habits, your relationships with third-party vendors.
And those fragments of your daily existence are the puzzle pieces hackers use to build a picture so convincing that you willingly bypass your own common sense.
Which leaves us with a rather profound challenge moving forward.
A challenge regarding trust itself.
Yeah.
Consider the concept of zero trust. In enterprise IT, zero trust is a security framework that means never assuming a device or user is safe just because it is already inside the corporate network.
Right. Verify everything.
Exactly. Every single action must be continuously verified. Now apply that architecture to humanity.
Oh, well.
As our personal data becomes increasingly scattered across thousands of third-party vendors, from travel platforms to food delivery apps to medical portals, are we reaching a point where we have to assume a state of zero trust in our personal lives?
That is a heavy concept, a zero trust personal life.
Think about what that actually feels like. You get a text from your child's school containing their actual student ID number. You can't trust it.
Right.
You get an email from your doctor's office referencing your specific appointment time tomorrow. You can't trust it.
Because that context is out there.
Exactly. If every message containing perfectly accurate personal context must be treated as a potential scam, how does that fundamentally alter the way we communicate and trust each other in society?
That is huge.
You are moving from a world where context proved authenticity to a world where context proves absolutely nothing.
That is a chilling but incredibly necessary question to ponder the next time your phone buzzes with a seemingly helpful update. We are dealing with adversaries who understand human psychology just as well as they understand computer code.
It is a whole new battlefield.
Navigating this landscape, understanding where your data lives, how third-party vendors expose you, and how to train yourself and your team to spot these sophisticated psychological traps, it is not something you can figure out in a vacuum.
No, you really need a partner who understands the architecture of these threats. Someone who can secure both the digital infrastructure and educate the human element.
Absolutely. So whether you are managing a small business network, evaluating the supply chain risks of your enterprise architecture, or just trying to lock down your digital life, head over to www.kinsoft.com.au to discuss your security and IT needs.
They really have the expertise to help you build that robust digital fortress.
And more importantly, make sure those back windows stay locked. Thank you for joining us today on Tech Talks with Kinsoft, and stay safe out there.